Hey guys, it's me, Elliot.
And Conley.
And this is 2.5 Nerds.
Woo!
We've been gone for a while.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
been a rough couple of months. But, on to the point. We are doing Season 2, Episode 1
on aliens.
We have talked about UFOs before. We have also talked about extraterrestrials.
I believe it's episode 9.
I believe so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We've decided that we're going to try out a new setup, standing a little bit.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll go back to chairs. Maybe we'll get a bigger space. Don't know. But we're going to talk about extraterrestrials, aliens.
Yes. Today's story comes from Pascagoula. No, I said that completely wrong. Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
M-S-I-P-P-P-A-I.
Wow,
Three
Mississippi is pretty far away from where we live.
Oh yeah. Here in Nebraska. Anyway.
Alaska, you're joking, man.
I'm kidding. So I did say October 1973. Calvin Parker and Charles Hickson were both dock workers, and I believe they were catching fish and stuff and hauling large pieces of fishing nets and stuff, and they would scale the fish for cooks and chefs to eat or prepare. And after a long night of work, Charles asked, I can't think of his name, Calvin, to go fishing with him. And so it's probably midnight, and they go fishing, but they didn't know that their lives were going to change that evening. They encountered strange extraterrestrial beings, like E.T. for short. That night, they experienced a giant, bright, whitish-orangish light.
Orange is my favorite color.
Yeah. And these creatures appeared to them, like they could see them. I believe there's 3. 3 6-foot human-ish looking characters.
And if you're thinking 6 foot's not that big,
It's an inch taller than me.
yeah. And I'm pretty short, guys.
They're pretty big. They're like, we can't say man, but they're pretty big.
They're like Captain America behind us here.
Yeah.
But the interesting part is like when we were doing this, Conley did a lot of pictures that he showed us about these things. And it's very interesting to look at those pictures and the video that we watched, that reel you sent me.
Yeah. Well,
and
that was a different video.
Video, but it was on aliens.
Yes.
And some of this stuff's pretty cool. We also are going to tag that stuff on the bottom of the video. We also might add
the description.
We'll add them onto the description. Also, they might end up on this video at the end. So, if we're talking about certain things, you'll see what we're talking about at the end, or you'll see them in the middle of this cut.
Yeah. Anyway, so these creatures came up to these 2 guys, and they're not short people, but they're probably average height, so 5'9", 5'10", kind of. I believe Charles Hickson was young. He was like 20, so he was in his prime. And when he saw these creatures, he was terrified, and he froze in fear. Like he froze. And
I would be pretty scared too.
Oh yeah.
Aliens, man, because you got to think about it. Talking about the last one, we talked about those UFOs and stuff, and we tagged a lot of those articles in there. A lot of these people didn't really know what they were looking at when they saw them. They kind of were like shocked. They're super advanced. So the question becomes more of a thing is, are these aliens here to help, or are they here to kill us? Yeah. Or is all this just like something the government's using to cover up and hide other problems that are in our country and around the world, maybe? I don't know. But, sorry, I'm going on a rant.
It's good, it's good.
But I just thought that was an interesting point of view, because you got to remember the government just announced aliens are.
Yeah, I'll get to that later. I have something I would like to say about that. But so like back in the 1973, there was no really like cell phones to capture this, but they had people draw, or I can't think what they're called, police illustrators. Artists, they drew the pictures, and I'll put that up on the video later, but these creatures, they describe them as like 6 foot and kind of like, imagine Patrick Star, but just like
kind of
long
looked
and
like
narrow.
they had like hazmat suits on.
Yeah.
One of them did,
Yeah.
and then the other one kind of looked like a mummy.
Yeah, but they had these pointed like studs around where their eyes would be, but it was all around their head, and it's just eerie to think about.
Kind of like magnet fields, maybe. Like,
Maybe. All I thought they were like eyes, but I don't know. And they approached these two guys, and Calvin was in the military in the past war, so he has seen some things, so it didn't really shock him. It just, he was quiet through the whole thing, or through the multiple interviews. And in the interviews, he doesn't talk, and well, he's quiet, so he would be very picky about what he said, and that he would just say that this actually happened, and that it scared him quite a lot, but he didn't like his fight or flight responses didn't go off, like they didn't run, or they just kind of froze there.
Kind of like you knew that they weren't going to harm them. You kind of just knew that they were there to be there.
Well, if I saw aliens approaching me, I don't know what I would do. I probably would freeze like they did. But
how do you know that? And this is like me. I'm going to be kind of hypothetical on this. I don't believe in aliens. I really don't believe in UFOs. Really, a lot of things we talk about, these mythical creatures and monsters. I'm not a big believer in them, but
what?
But I do like to talk about them because they do interest me.
Yeah, they're cool.
They are very cool. It would be awesome to think that they're real, but
yeah.
How do we know that they weren't like drunk or hallucinating these things?
Well, they ran tests on them actually, and they came up 100% clean. The only thing is that I can't remember his name. I never remember his name. Charles Hickson, he fainted, or he was unconscious after the event happened. But when he woke up, he didn't know anything after a couple days, and then after a few days, he tells them that they were in the ship, and that they were doing experiments on them and scanning them and all kinds of stuff.
And that would be kind of like in the UFO territory.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, like, we got to think about this too. How do we know that these aliens aren't actually like look like us, breathe like us, or us, but just wearing oxygen suits because they might not be able to breathe our oxygen?
Yeah.
Thinking about it, like these aliens are super, like the way these images look, they don't look as advanced as what we know them to be, like with the big old heads and tiny men with guns and stuff.
They kind of look like I can't think of what they're called from Work, the game. Can't think of what they're called. Work. Oh, never mind. Forget about it. Anyway, so I like Among Us characters, but like super tall and elongated. You know.
I get what you're saying, but like, I guess for me, it's interesting because we are hitting that era where tech is becoming more modern. I mean, you got people that are getting surgery on their arms.
Yeah.
With like cameras coming out and
it's crazy.
Auto-tune.
Crazy. Yeah, like Claw from Marvel Comics.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here and I'm like, are we getting to the era where we're going to start space travel and stuff? Because we're already thinking about launching rockets to Mars.
Because we didn't land on the moon, and no, I'm just kidding. But that's another video. No. But but like just going to other planets and seeing, that'd be cool. Like Star Trek. I've always wanted to go to other planets. Although that'd be terrifying. But back to what I was saying before. So they did put them on this and the spaceship, but Calvin Parker remembers a lot more than Charles Hickson because he was unconscious most of what they were doing. And so after or during, they were doing not surgery but scanning him and seeing his blood and all kinds of stuff.
Like X-rays?
Yeah. He just remembers them like standing over them and him on a bed, and he looked over and he saw Charles. Charles. And just like saying, "What's going on?" And they woke up, and well, he woke up in the same spot that they were captured, and he watches them just fly right off.
And did time pass for them?
It was still dark, but I'm pretty sure they did say that it was later in the night. And of course, they called the authorities and the sheriff, and nobody believed them. So, what do you think?
Honestly, I think it's kind of like the Nessie things we talked about. Mm-hmm. And we know, for me, Nessie, I always think it's a whales.
Ding dong. Hey!
Jinx.
Knock on wood. Ooh, sorry.
You got me there. But I always think it's kind of like that. Maybe it wasn't like... Maybe they were at the wrong place at the wrong time, and kidnappers kidnapped them. And just,
Yeah.
But you could also say that it's aliens. I think that you've got to look at this more in a state of what is an alien, what makes an alien, because aliens are things that aren't living here on our Earth or our world.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I think when we look at this, we have to think of an alien more as, I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting because I can't put my mind to it. I just have to think about it. But it goes down to the territory of like Bigfoot and all those other creatures. Or what was that one cult? They believed about the star and how they all had to kill themselves one day and they would be up there with all the other...
I can't think of what it's called.
But there's a lot of these people that believe, oh, I see aliens, and then it's never true. Or,
Let's pull this up real fast. On Netflix, okay, there is a thing called Encounters. I'm not exactly sure what episode it is, but they talk about this exact case. And I believe they even talk about that mountain you're talking about. Let me click on it real fast.
Mountain.
Over Mount Fukushima. That one is what Elliot's talking about. If you want to check that out, look at Netflix for Encounters. And yeah.
And it's a Netflix exclusive series, so
yeah,
you have to have Netflix.
Yeah.
But getting on to the topics, honestly, I think aliens are just us, but more advanced. They've learned to build tech.
Like they're from the future?
Maybe not the future, but they're they're same era as us, but they learned faster than us. Because think about it, all these ships that they're flying, we're getting to the point where we're able to make spaceships pretty quickly. We haven't figured out how to leave our atmosphere, and maybe that's an issue. Maybe their atmosphere was less than ours, so maybe they were able to do more things.
Yeah.
For us, ours is a lot heavier, so we're just kind of pushed down to the ground. And that's why I'm shorter and you're a little taller. It's because my body just can't handle the atmosphere.
Because I'm better than you are. No. Okay. So, from our topics, this is a recent update. There was an alien asteroid that fell, or an asteroid with an alien inside, that landed in China. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Okay. So, it was a couple years ago. And it was mummified, but it was like probably about this size of this book right here, probably that big, at least that big.
But for like me, I'm very hectic on this.
Skeptic, yeah.
Because I feel like the government is just using that to cover up more things that they're hiding in our government. And there is conspiracies on this that when the government says aliens are real, there's something that's going on differently than what we know is going to happen.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is speculation. We're not saying our government's planning on killing us or doing anything like that. But we're saying we think that maybe... Probably not, with quotations.
Yeah.
I believe that maybe it's more of a thing that they can persecute people that they hate in the government. So they could say, well, this person's an alien because we figured out aliens have this many toes or, have this colored eyeball. But give the excuse, they're aliens. And then people are like, maybe they are. And this leads into a thing. Have you ever heard of this religion? I think it was called the Star... The cult is called the Star Cult Religion or something like that. I can't think of this other religion, but what they believe is that this alien deity wiped out a lot of aliens. Well, alien souls came to Earth, blah, 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 merged with our bodies, and we are alien souls living on this Earth. It's very interesting because they believe that for all that this alien had a little base set up on Earth and he was sucking the souls in and erasing all of our memories. Could it be real? Probably not. But it's an interesting topic because people have always said aliens might be real, aliens might be real. And since the government's now saying, well, aliens are real, everyone's like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, what is an alien? What makes an alien? And are we aliens? Or are we... What are we? Is I guess the true question.
We're human.
We are human, but like...
No.
Are we human or are we aliens? Because we don't really know. They don't...
Well, depending who you're asking, because if we travel to their universe, then we would be considered alien.
But if they travel here, they're considered aliens. So...
I would say it's someone that we think is not from our world.
Yes, and it just becomes more of a fact. So, are there multiple species of aliens?
I think there is.
Because we got ones that are wearing suits to breathe our atmosphere, and then we have people that say, oh, they don't wear suits. I mean,
of course, we got little green men that people see all the time, and then you got people that look like that. Not that they look like, but people think that they see like little goblins that are grayish.
Or you got like ones that look like stick figures but have really big heads and just really big eyes.
Yeah.
Another great show to watch is Unexplained or The Unnatural.
Yeah.
Another one would be it's like Untold Stories or Missing. What's that missing person show called?
Unsolved Mysteries.
Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah. They talk a lot about this stuff, and that's kind of what I grew up on. I was never a believer in aliens. I believe in hell and a heaven. Yeah. I think that's kind of where it's at. For me, I think aliens are kind of like...
Yeah. A lot of people believe that they were like angels, or people believe that because described in the Bible, they're all like angels aren't necessarily in human form, like, but they could just be seeing angels or I don't know.
And if you read the scripture, angels aren't people. They look really different. They're kind of scary. There's books that are like the Book of Enoch. Not a Bible. It is supposedly supposed to be a part of the Bible. I don't believe that. But the Book of Enoch talks about these big humanoid beasts that were their mothers bred with angels to make them.
Yeah, I think we should talk about that as well.
We should.
Except not now, but like in a different podcast.
But those are things that are like there that I could maybe be like, yeah, that could be real, because there's a lot of things on that. But aliens, it's kind of like, yes, our government has said aliens are real, but also what makes an alien real? What is an alien? And I guess my question is, are they real, or is our government using this for a hoax?
Yeah. So while we're on the topic of the what was it? Enoch?
Enoch.
Yeah. Let us know if you want to talk about that. And while you're down there, why don't you go ahead and like the video and subscribe and share with your friends and stuff. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, it helps us a lot. It helps us keep active.
Yeah.
We do eventually plan on maybe having a couple more members on the podcast.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting. We also we're a part of a movie on YouTube.
Yes.
We play as aliens.
Yes.
Do you know what that YouTube channel is called?
Oh. I'm sure I do. Not off the top. Oh gosh.
It's like a film movie. My uncle makes them.
It's called Fallen Star.
Fallen Star.
That's the name of the video, not the... It's
Fallen Star.
Yeah.
And we play as aliens.
Phobia Productions is what it's called.
Phobia Productions. And
Phobia
Productions is a really great place to subscribe to. The person that we might be doing a video collab with would be Brent Garrett, and he does a really...
And he runs Phobia Productions, and we will be doing different...
We'll be doing 2 episodes with him.
Yeah. And
we recommend you subscribe so you can see those, because it'll be very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about Cthulhu, and we're going to do another season on ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Our experience of what we've seen, and experiences of what my mom's seen, and what my uncle's seen, and what his family's seen.
Yeah.
We have very interesting audio clips, too, that we might add into it. We're not sure. But
Phobos Productions.
Phobos Productions. We are a part of a video. very great video, actually. It's aliens that attack these soldiers, and we play as the aliens. We talk a lot. And it's just an interesting take on the subject of aliens.
Yeah.
Recommend that you subscribe to that channel, and we recommend that you like his video. He worked really hard on it, and the animation's like movie quality. Honestly, nerds, we love talking. We love doing this. We're excited to be back.
Oh, yeah!
And
Woo!
we're hoping that we can make more videos like this, where we just talk for how long we can. And honestly, we're going to do a lot more videos. But, nerd out. Be safe.
Later.
Be happy.
Deuces.